All right, look, on my channel, we get straight to the content. Before I get to the content, listen, I ain't uploading in a minute. I've been doing stuff on TikTok. My TikTok same as my YouTube. Let me lock in. So, in my last video, I touched on some stuff. I want y'all to know, I haven't been really feeling the Joe Budden's podcast like that. Not gonna lie to y'all, right? And I miss it, you know what I mean? So, a lot of times, I listen to YouTube channels that cover the Joe Budden's podcast, because the actual Joe Budden's podcast is just not that interesting, right? And when they do have a topic, they come off super biased. And I'm at the point like where I can't listen to dudes talk about stuff and I look at them as hypocrites, right? So I'm listening to Scores and Assists, and they're doing a breakdown of the JBP, talking about what's going on with Iran, right? Shout out to all my soldiers, because I know people that serve in the country right now. So shout out to the soldiers, right? So I'm listening to it. And like I said, I love Joe Budden's. Like, I grew up on him. Been a fan of the pod. The pod is weak. If you're familiar with my other content, y'all know I'm not a Marc Lamont Hill fan. But I still got love for the pod, but it's a mess, right? So anytime it's about politics or women, you have to be prepared for Marc Lamont Hill to insert grifting abilities. He's just a grift. Even I understand that Ice asked him a question like, where do you go to look up stuff? First of all, Ice being so engaged with this Iran conversation was gross to me. Because if you're a fan like me, yo, Ice was running around calling Donald Trump Uncle T and joking about it. The whole time this presidency thing was going on and stuff like that, I'm not saying Ice voted for Trump. I don't know who he voted for. But he looked at it like a joke. If you like me, I never thought Donald Trump was being president was going to be a joke. I always thought it was going to be mad chaos, right? Not sitting here saying, oh, I voted for Kamala Harris, but Trump was definitely not the choice. And now we're getting the chaos. So now you don't see Ice joking about it, right? So now for Ice to ask Marc Lamont Hill, oh, where do I get the content to know what's really going on? Hey, yo, bro, respectfully shut up. Because as a black man, you was referring to him as Uncle T. That's crazy. He got gray in my beard. He got gray in his beard like in my beard. And he called that white man Uncle T. Trifling activity, right? So, of course, Marc Lamont Hill's a grift. So he's giving them the websites and talking about books. Everything about Marc Lamont Hill is disingenuous. And it's almost like that for the whole pod, right? If you listen to the podcast enough, and like I said, I got love for the pod, but they do a lot of lame stuff as men. I don't want to hear Joe Budden's talking about Iran and you run around and took Ozempic, bro. If y'all really take this Iran and Donald Trump and all the stuff that's going in the world serious, wouldn't you make sure you put yourself in a position to protect your family at the maximum level? Taking Ozempic to lose weight is not going to protect your family. I'm sorry, bro. And it shows you got a lack of discipline and you got a lack of training. And there's nothing wrong with not having that, but you want to strive for that. You don't want to take the easy way out. Because if stuff hit the fan the way it looks like, ain't no easy way out. Then if you're watching this video, you a fan like me of the podcast. I love the podcast. It's hard to listen to a group of guys talk about political stuff and talk about war. And one of the podcasts, they were all talking about how they had kids and they didn't attend all their birthdays. And none of them was locked up. They just didn't have their kids in their life. Shout out to Joe Budden's. That's my guy. Y'all know his relationship with his son, Trey. Marc Lamont Hill found out he had a daughter when he was 18. Parks don't got no kids. Ice talking to a girl with 43 kids. It's just an ish. I don't know his particular situation. You know what I mean? But it's just like, it's so hypocritical. Look at this. Like, it's hypocritical to hear dudes like that speak. Every time, even Parks don't really care about none of this stuff, bro. He only care about Hispanic culture. I'm sorry. He made a living off black culture. See, y'all don't want to talk about it. This is what it is. He made a living off black culture. He only really care about Hispanic culture, bro. And if you watch enough of the podcast, you'll realize he only really care about Hispanic culture. He know about our culture because he got on in our culture. He don't really care. You know what I'm saying? I'm just tired of these guys on the pod having such strong opinions and ideologies, and they don't even stand for nothing. And the worst thing about all of this that's happening in the world, I'm not even on here promoting World War III or nothing like that, but the common man, like if you're a man, respectfully, the common man like us, we would be the ones left to fight the war. And they wouldn't care. I know they say, oh, if you're in your 40s, like I'm 41, right? If you're in your 40s, you're not eligible to get drafted. Yeah, you're not eligible to get drafted until the bodies start dropping, and now they just need manpower. Don't ever forget that. And guess what? Dudes like Joe Budden, dudes like Marc Lamont Hill, dudes like Ice, dudes like Parks, not so much Ish. You know what they do on the podcast? Kick regular dudes' backs in the whole time, bro. Regular men. Think about all the topics that they talk about. When do they actually have a stance for men? When do they actually take a stance for us, the common man? Never. If you don't got the Patreon, they call you a brokey. So you think I want to listen to these dudes talk about real world issues? Marc Lamont Hill so concerned with Iran. He don't even care about the black community like that. He don't care about his common black man. When have y'all watched the podcast and Marc Lamont Hill really stood for black men? Never. He'll stand for immigrants, gay men, anything but a regular black man from America like us, bro. Trifling activity, bro. I hope everybody's doing good. I'm not sitting here saying you need to build a bunker, but it's better to be safe than sorry, bro. It's better to have and not need than to need and not have. Go get y'all some canned food. Start a small workout regimen. I don't care if you're 1,000 pounds. Get better every day, because every day you could get better. You know what I'm saying? And if you listen to the Joe Budden podcast as a black man, I'm not judging you, because like I said, I still check in on it. But as black men in the community, we got to hold these dudes accountable with these strong ideologies that when stuff hits the fan, they not putting in zero work. Joe Budden is not in a position to tell us anything about Iran when he's being controlled and his podcast is being controlled by Ian Schwartzman. Nah, brother. I'm sorry. It's so backwards on that podcast. I only got to listen to Scorch and Sis and Danny from the Shop break it down. It's a mess. Y'all know, if you're familiar with my other content, I like Mona. I'm so tired of Mona being on the pod trying to convince us that committing crimes is cool and it's okay. No one on the pod is going to tell her to shut up. It's never, and listen, some of this stuff that happens in the black community, how we get overtime, more time than, let's say, white people and stuff like that, I get it. Yo, it's not a crime that exists where Mona won't justify it somehow. Girl, shut your scamming ass up. We not trying to always take the criminal side. We understand there's certain things that happen, da-da-da-da-da. All right, we get it. Girl, you want to condone all types of stealing, killing, drug dealing. How is that going to uplift the black community? It sounds like you more for criminals than the black community. The pod got to get it together. I'm going to hit y'all with some more videos. Like I said, my TikTok is the same as my YouTube. So I've been doing a lot of content there, trying to grind my way to get to 10,000 followers. Because for real, if you're an independent content creator, it's probably more beneficial to make money on TikTok. But I'm about to come back to y'all with another video. But I had to touch bases with this. Like, subscribe, turn your notifications on. I'm out.